Hey everyone, my name's Alexandra and I am a watercolor artist. This is part 3 of my Cozy Christmas Card in Under 10 Minutes series. So for today's Christmas card, we are going to be painting Christmas ornaments. Let's get started. What you guys will need for supplies is paper for your card. Here I have 140-pound cold press paper, napkin for drying my paints on. I'm using Opus Allegro's paintbrushes numbers 6 and 3, but a small and a big works great. 2 cups of water, and then I am using a combination of paints. I'll have them described below, but you guys choose whatever colors you want for your ornaments. So we're gonna jump right in. I have drawn up sort of loose shapes of ornaments, which you guys can do to start with, or you can just go for it right off the bat. But yeah, if you guys jump ahead a little bit in this video, you'll see the shapes that I have, so feel free to follow along. So for the first one, I have a circle ornament here. So I'm just gonna start. For this one, I'm going to paint it in with sort of a nice neutral beige color. So I'm going to fill in my ornament. And just to give it more of a realistic look, I'm going to add a little bit of shading to the one edge of it. So I'm using the wet on wet technique here, and I'm just gonna let that color bleed in. Now, while that dries, we're gonna jump to the next one and then come back and add some details. So for my second ornament, I'm gonna do, again, a nice light base color underneath. So I'm using sort of a creamy color. And this one, I've given it a bit of a different shape. It's a little bit more like a teardrop. So I'm fully painting it in, and while it's still wet, I'll just add some more color into that left side to give it just a little bit of shading. All right, so now we're gonna get our base color for the last one. I'm gonna use a little bit more of a gray toned color, but still pretty similar to the other two. And again, for this, you guys feel free to just use whatever colors make you happy and make you feel like Christmassy. I notice in general, I tend towards getting things that are very like earth tones, so that will probably show through in my ornaments. All right, so this last one, I have it with a little bit more of a funky shape, just because I wanted to have some fun with it. Okay, so I'm just filling it in, and again, I'm adding a little bit more shading to the left side, just to give it a bit of dimension. Okay, so that needs to dry just a little bit, so I'm gonna add in our string that's tying the ornaments from the top, and then we're gonna go back and add some details. So I'm just drawing a line all the way down with a little loop that's on the ornament. Okay, so now we're gonna outline all of our ornaments, and then we'll go in and add some details. So I'm just gonna follow along my circle. If you guys want it to be super perfect and trace something, go ahead. I'm just gonna jump right in. And I'm okay if my pen line doesn't perfectly follow my painting. Okay, so now we can really see the shapes of these ornaments. If you guys want, you can actually start with adding your pen in. It'll just give it more definition from the beginning, which might help with your painting a little bit. Otherwise, feel free to add the pen in whenever. Now I'm going to add some details. So on my ornament on the left, we're gonna do some stripes. So I'm gonna do some angled stripes, but because the ornament is round, I'm gonna make each shape kind of on a curve here. So it's stripes, but I'm going in a little bit of a curve along the shape of the ornament. And I'm going to do that all the way up. And then I'm going to take that same color paint and just go around that loop that I made at the top. Okay, perfect. So for our next ornament, I want to do sort of just a Christmassy look. We're going to do some mini little pine needles on it. So I'm going to take my green paint here, and we're going to do pine needles and berries. So I'm going in with my small paintbrush, and I'm just going to paint some really mini little sprigs. I go all the way through. And I'm just scattering them around my ornament, sort of making them face different directions. And now for my berries, just because I want all the ornaments to tie in together, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take that exact same color that I used for my first painting, for my first ornament, and I'm just gonna paint some little circles all the way through. So I'll do some clusters of 2, some clusters of 1, of 3. And now I want to kind of separate this top piece so you can tell that that's where the ornament is sort of hanging from. So I'm just gonna go in with that same color that I used at first, but a little bit darker, and just fill in this shape here. And then the exact same thing that I did with that first one, I'm just gonna paint in that little loop. And then I can even add a little more shading to the edge if I want, and just give it some more dimension. Just working around the things that I've already painted. Okay. So now we are going to go to our last ornament, and we're gonna do some more stripes going across. So I'm gonna keep to that first color that I had. I might deepen it just a little bit. And I'm gonna do stripes going along my ornament. So again, keeping in mind that this top part would be round. And then I want to sort of tie in the look from the second one. So I'm gonna add some green stripes right below. For the strings that are coming up from the ornament, you guys can pick a color that you want your string to be, and you guys can just paint over where the pen is. So we'll make it sort of look like either string or a ribbon. I'm just using a really light color here, and I'm just gonna go over top. So now we're just gonna go back in and add a little bit more pen detail. So in this first one, I'm just gonna follow my lines down just on one side. And this is just gonna give my design more definition and also just make it more cohesive. So now, exact same thing with this ornament here. I'm gonna follow my lines across, and I'm just gonna focus on doing the lines where I've painted the red for now. And I'm running out of time, so we're almost done here. But if you wanted for this one, you can go in and you can add a little bit more interest by doing some diagonal lines coming across your ornament. So I'm skipping every second section and just adding that in. All right, and that is it. You guys have 3 Christmas ornaments. With your ornaments, you guys can have fun with them. You can honestly paint whatever you want on them that looks Christmassy, but this is such a simple way to make such a cute card. It's one that I probably would write something like Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays across the bottom. If you guys followed along with this video, make sure to take a picture, tag me on Instagram at Alexandra Victoria Studio. Otherwise, please like this video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and comment below what you'd like to learn for our next cozy Christmas card tutorial. See you next time.